How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massa Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. A little bit of side project, hopeful goodness, in the form of their raspberry beer de pays. Yeah, on the back here it says raspberry beer de pays is our restrained approach to a fruited saison. We add a thoughtful amount of black and red raspberries to our beer de pays to not cloud the nuances of our lovely little beer. But then they add, let's see, a layer of soft fruit and color for the new experience. Our Missouri yeast and bacteria provide the layers. Farm and sale, and it was aged in oak for several months before naturally conditioned in this bottle. And as far as the oak goes, it's a wine barrel. I'm not sure if it actually says what kind of wine barrel, but we'll see what's what. This is batch or blend number 1. I actually do not know the date on this. And that be that. Side project. People freak out over their beers, to the point where I haven't reviewed any because I don't trade or go out of my way to get them, or really any beers whatsoever. Just kind of whatever comes my way comes my way. But an Instagram follower of mine, that would be Dusted, by the way. Go check him out. It's TN Craft Beer, Tennessee Craft Beer, basically on Instagram. He's like, hey man, you gonna review some side project? I was like, if I ever get any, maybe someday. And he's like, well, give me your address because you're going to get some. That's how that happened. So what do we have there? I mean, probably, I don't want to say it's super cold. I'm getting like this kind of condensation on the outside. It's super humid in here. It's probably just they say 50 degrees. If this is 48 degrees, I'd be surprised. It's probably spot on 50 degrees. But I mean, she looks like a Saison. A mixed culture saison with a hefty amount of red fruit in it, and that be raspberries. I mean, just off white with a pinkish, ever so slightest pinkish hue kind of head to it. Great back bubbles and a really nice, soft kind of fruited, sour, kind of hazy body to her. So she looks pretty. Let's get a nose. Ooh, there's some tartness in there. You can get that soft, acidic kind of tartness. And when I say soft acidic is probably the worst way to kind of explain it. It's a kind of, it's not high level. I don't think this is going to be enamel ripping, but it's definitely going to be like cheek puckering kind of acidic tart. Getting that soft raspberries. It's not getting to the jam portion of the show, where it's just a rich kind of sweetened fruit, but it's definitely kind of getting there. It's a little bit more preservy than jammy. It's kind of like, it's a little bit of muddled kind of raspberries. It hasn't been kind of added sweetness or anything like that to it. And there's that soft tartness to it. And there's almost like a lemongrass funk to it. That's kind of how the yeast is playing for me. Getting like a soft lemon vibe from it. Maybe that acidity to it is kind of adding to that. But then you have that soft, generic kind of strawy kind of funkiness kind of floating around the bottom. It smells pretty. That wine barrel definitely comes through. It adds a little bit of depth to all those bits and pieces. Get a little bit of funkiness from the yeast. I think the actual wine barrel is adding to that. I couldn't tell you if it's a red or white wine at this point, but it's also adding a little bit of depth to that acidity of the beer too. So I think you're getting a bit of that tartness and acidity from both the yeast and the wine barrel portion of the show. Not much as far as any kind of wood in the nose, and not that much as far as anything like vanilla or anything like that. It's just more kind of the wine is there in the nose as opposed to the actual wood itself. It smells pretty though. Let's dive in. Cheers. Oh, man, that's sharp. That's fun. That's fun. It's a fun beer. Man, it is so explosive up front. It's amazing. It's this big, huge tartness. Stops short of making cheek puckering, but it kind of, my cheeks start to pull in, but then it kind of washes off. So you're getting that nice raspberry. Definitely fresh, a little bit kind of watered down, like an unripened kind of raspberry to where it's not overly sweet. I can get down with that. The wine barrel still comes through. I don't even know. I think it's a white wine barrel, but it's adding more kind of tartness as opposed to just a Venice grape character. But it's pretty fun and adds almost a complementary dimension to it. It's enhancing the flavors I believe that would be naturally kind of in the beer. It's so much it's like a roller coaster, and that not necessarily free fall for anybody that's ever been on one of those, because it's like you get that first dip off the roller coaster and you go down and everything smooths out for a bit. It's like that, but only that first part, because you get that big explosive kind of fruit portion of the show, sour portion of the show, wine barrel aged portion of the show, and it's really explosive from the get. I mean, it's very, very explosive. It's not overpowering. It's very cohesive, so it makes sense, and I like the way it's working. I don't want to kind of confuse it with something that's just straight volume to your face. It all makes sense. Once you swallow, it's like it just picks up just a hair. That's a soft ride down. That kind of nice fruitiness while it lingers on your tongue. And kind of the volume goes down on that. The volume goes down on the tartness. Everything's there. The wood definitely comes through in the taste. It's got this soft dryness to it. Probably a combination of the yeast and the wood, but it definitely comes through. It's pretty welcoming stuff. This is really pretty, really aggressive beer. I didn't expect, especially at its ABV, I think it's 5%. 5% alcohol by volume. I did not expect this to be as expressive, as electric as it is, but it does it in a very purposeful way, and in it finishes so soft. It just you have that big huge peak, and then you just ride that down to that soft slope. It just kind of fades off. And what you're left is a soft dryness, soft berry character, a little bit of soft tartness kind of lingering around there, but it lets you off so easy. It lets you off so easy for how impactful it is from the get-go. You're just compelled to go back and take another sip. When a beer kind of urges you, nudges you along to take another sip, is one of the better experiences you can have with a beer, especially when it comes to kind of your funky farmhouse sour kind of beers. And this is doing it pretty masterfully. I mean, this is a really good beer. I dig this. I think that's pretty much it. As it warms slightly, I am getting a little bit more kind of vanilla from the wood, even on the nose and taste. I like it. It's like I've talked about this previously. It's like the Walter Payton of beers. It's like a ballerina, but at the same time, it's like a MMA fighter. It's violence. It's beautiful violence at the same time, and it's so aggressive at the front and so pretty and so gentle at the back end. It's a really fun ride of a beer, and yeah, a good foray into my side project. I've had a couple sips of side project stuff and like line shares and stuff like that, but I've never sat down with a bottle myself, which I'm going to do with this, and I'm going to enjoy this one. So yeah, thank you very much, Dusty. Very appreciative. Can't wait to dive in the other four. Anyway, about this one, let's cut to the chase. This is one of the better fruited Saison, because we're going to go Saison. Even though it's sour, I'm going to go fruited Saison that I've had as late. Yes, it's up there. Is it number one? There's probably a couple that eke it out for me, but at the same time, it's worthy of being up there in the conversation. Value and availability, no idea. I mean, the whole reason I haven't gotten any of these guys' stuff is because it's just kind of one of those things where, you know, it's a secondary market thing and I don't play that game, but I'm lucky enough to have Dusty send them off. But if anybody out there, Dusty or somebody else, knows what these go for as far as pricing goes, let me know and leave you with if you like what we like this. I mean, it's pretty much everything you would think, I would say. If you like Allagash, if you like Hill Farmstead, if you like, you know, some Belgian kind of fruited sours, if you like the upper echelon, the Mount Rushmores of the fruited sour / farmhouse / Saison / all kinds of slashes, you're going to like this. And if you want something that's really aggressive at the beginning, and I can't understate it, but at the same time, I don't want you to think it's just over the top aggressive. It makes so much sense. If you want something that isn't super subtle, that has volumes, but it's so gentle and so lets you down so easy at the end, it's not a beer that's like troubling or hard to drink, because each time you go back, you get that quick pop and that soft slope, and it's just a pretty beer. There you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little side project jammer as much as I did. If you have any questions down there, I was going to say value and availability. That's weird. If you want to get at me on the social medias, Massive Beers, you can check me out doing that stuff. If you want to do the whole podcasting and thing, Beer Massive, I'm going to be kicking off a bunch of more of those coming soon. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice little side project fruited Saison right now. And hopefully see you next time. Cheers.